Two major tournaments happened this weekend with Cirque 4 and Sumabato SP52, and God damn it. Two major tournaments happened this past weekend, Cirque 4 and Sumabato SP52, and while I don't really want to go over Cirque too much in depth because of all the stuff that happened, I still want to celebrate the players that did well there, and then of course the super major in Japan, Sumabato SP52, had quite an interesting bracket, so let's go. And of course, spoiler alert for this tournament, if you don't want to know, I'm literally about to go over the brackets, so be warned. Mia finally took home gold at another US event. I believe it has been since Rise and Grind that he's won a US event. Always done well, obviously. Well, not always. He definitely has had some subpar performances for someone of his caliber, but he finally won in top 8. He did defeat T, Light, and Lima, as well as a couple of other good wins in the top 32, which when I click top 32, I will go over them. Second place was a huge monster run from Lima after losing to Shattuck in in winners quarters. I forget who he beat to make into top 8, but it was a good player. I think it was Goblin or Cola, one of them, I don't remember. Then he beat Peanut, T, Spargo, Light, and reset the bracket against Mia, only to fall to Mia in set 2, which is honestly kind of crazy. Light, who won the Lit Invitational on Friday, I believe, this weekend, which I'm not going to go over because that's a lot of games, still got third, so a good performance from him as well, only falling to Mia in winners finals and Lima in losers finals, but still beat Shattuck and a couple of other good players along the way. Spargo had a good performance yet again, obviously not a first place, but still with his resume this past, couple of months, I still do think he is the #1 contender for #1 in the world. So good stuff to him, although he did fall to, who was it in winners? I forget who it was. But yeah, he lost to T's Kazuya and then Lima in losers. So, it's going to happen. He also lost to T at the Invitational, which was interesting. So maybe got to sharp on that Kazuya matchup. Because again, like one electric on a cloud back air, pretty scary. And we did see Spargo go Aegis against Lima. So still a very practiced secondary, but Lima did come out on top. Shattuck continues his top 8 runs, getting top 8 winners again, beating Lima in winners quarters, so he still did an amazing job overall, although he did lose to Light and Spargo. T got top 8, which I feel like it's been a long time since T has got top 8 winners at a US tournament. I can't remember the last time he did it. I know he made top 8 at Genesis. Was that this year? I don't recall. So many tournaments have happened, but I remember him fighting Tweak in losers bracket. Yeah, I think that was this Genesis, but I don't remember him in top 8 in terms of the US event recently. And then to round out the top 8, we had Peanut, who had an amazing showing last year at Cirque, or I guess earlier this year in March, getting 4th, but then still getting top 8, only losing to his fellow South Carolina Winthrop buddy Lima, who again had a crazy run, and Tweak, of course, still going to get top 8 at basically every tournament he goes to. He did lose to Mia and Spargo along the way. And seeing that top 8, you see a couple of Japanese players, but at the same time, I feel like overall, US defended their turf. I mean, Mia is amazing and T is amazing, but I feel like overall, the US and the players at this tournament did really, really well versus the Japanese players. In pools, there was an upset of Osh 9 over Snow. We saw South Florida Mario Dominator beat Hurt here. We also saw Peanut beat Hurt here. There was a lot of really good Japanese players. Here we had Doramigi, who lost to, I forget who it was in winners. He lost to Light and then ended up losing to Spargo for 9th place. Zomba ended up DQing, I believe, because he was sick. But then Snow lost to Goblin in losers as well, which is honestly very interesting to me. So it was a very interesting type of bracket. Again, a lot of Japanese players here, but still overall, I feel like the US did very well. Shoutouts to Zap getting 9th. All the haters from the Luminosity Invitational, he still did really well. Okay, let me see. Peanut beating Goblin, Lima beating Cola, Tweak beating Zap game 5 to make top 8 as well, Spargo over Doramigi. And yeah, that's mostly going to cover this bracket, so let us go to the super major in Sumabato 52. Even though there has been quite a drought relative for his performances in Akala winning tournaments, he finally won another super major, coming out on top here in top 8, beating Raki Steve, Daru's Luigi, and Ashimo in the run back of the last Sumabato SP, where Ashimo did win that major. So a rematch of the grand finals, but this time going Akala's way, and Akala was not knocked into losers early, which I believe was by Snow that tournament. So not happening here, just back to his usual dominance here, only going to game 5 a single time versus Raru. And again, Raru is amazing, so shoutouts to him. Ashimo, again, considering his good results, he's honestly on track to have like a hella top 10 season this season. Just been absolutely phenomenal overall. Raru as well, just been performing so well, multiple top 8s at all the biggest tournaments, and he got 3rd here, which is very, very impressive. Yoshidora had a return to form in 4th place here, coming into the top 8 and from losers, I believe. Yoshidora in winners bracket lost to Masas Falco, who we see up here making top 8 winners, but then beating Umeki and Rocky before falling to Oshimo in the Supernova runback. Masa did get 5th, and while in this top 8 we do see him lose to Raru and Oshimo. 1, that's nothing to sneeze at, but 2, he had plenty of wins before that in the top 96. Daki was also in winner's semis versus Akala, lost to him and Yoshidoro for 5th place, but again we can go over more of their wins before. And then we see Umeki finally returning to a top 8 of a super major, and then Yone P, the world's best Pichu, getting top 8 yet again. Pichu's just really explosive, and so I'm really glad to see him here. Of course, having a win on Mia before, so, you know, an amazing player, absolutely phenomenal. But let's get into more of these wins. Akala actually had to take, he was down 2-1 versus Yonepi, so Yonepi again doing very well, beating Motsunabe's Falco, highly ranked, and then Karaage, probably the best Falcon in the world, before falling to Akola, and then beating Toriguri, which is very impressive. Oshimo, he lost, it seems, pretty early, before he beat Shion. I forget who Shion plays, but I know they are very good, and then beating Kome, and then beating Ken. That matchup seems really hard, so that is a bit of a surprise to me. We have Umeki beating Ryuo. He was in winners quarters though, losing to Raru, but he did beat Tsunaz, Roy, and Greninja, as well as Kuropanzu's Rob, which is very impressive. Oshimo again fell to Masa. Masa actually beat Oshimo and Yoshidoro, which is very impressive, as well as Goryoka, so a hell of a run from Masa. We had Daki was able to beat Pengisu 3-0, as well as Rimu 3-0, and again beating Ken 3-2, Ken making it to winner's quarters, but then falling outside of the top 8, which is very unfortunate for him, but Rocky Steve was able to take that 3-2. Again, we went over Yone P. There were some other, of course, amazing players here. We had Jogibu, we had Toriguri, we had Rimu, we had Alice, who's been doing really well recently. Shida Yuki has been doing amazing, even though Kuropanzu beat him. Just a bunch of amazingly strong players that we're just kind of used to seeing at all these Japanese events, and this bracket was honestly very crazy. We also had 2 Diddy Kongs in the top 12, which is very interesting. In the top 16 with Ryuo and Nyon KNB. So Diddy Kong again becoming very strong and very well represented. I didn't even know Kept played Diddy Kong. That's crazy. Another Diddy Kong here in that top 24. But yeah, TG almost making the top 8 before losing to fellow mid-tier Yone P. Again, I'll probably be going over Yone P. I'm going to be going over, obviously, a ton of sets from at least this tournament. I don't know if I want to feature Cirque just because of, you know, the continued controversy of those events every single time it happens. So not sure if I want to do that, but let me know down in the comments what you would enjoy, and I will go over it. And yeah, that's going to be about it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, social media and partner stuff is down below. I will be streaming tonight a tournament run. If you are interested, come by the streams at about 6 p.m. Eastern. So I will be doing that. See you all then. Peace.